Watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, the weekend edition. Infrastructure upgrades on tap for Eleuthera. A $68,000 drug find in Grand Bahama. 45 years in the priesthood, Very Reverend Harry Bain reflects. And in sports, Olympian Ken Mullings hosts a free clinic. The Bahamas tonight, the weekend edition, starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jimenita Swain, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition. Thanks so much for tuning in. Significant infrastructural upgrades on tap for the island of Eleuthera. Minister of Works and Family Island Affairs, the Honorable Clay Sweeting, says government has earmarked millions towards the sustained growth of that island. Sweeting says the investments are timely as Eleuthera is seeing an uptick in its economy and tourism.
Already $26 million is earmarked and invested in the upgrade of water plants and the piping for the sustained delivery of potable water, which is a basic necessity. We will fix it. So if you travel the streets of South Eleuthera, you will see the evidence of government work going towards growing our family islands. You'll see the PPP, where they've started with the 163 miles of road, of new roads in Central and South Eleuthera. You'll see that we're putting potable water to Bannerman Town and John Millis. You'll see the housing development in Ocean Hole. You'll see the cultivation center in Atchit Bay and the investment in agriculture and schools.
Eleuthera residents will also see upgrades to airports on the island, which is more than 100 miles long. Sweeting says the improvements are fixing legacy issues crucial towards Eleuthera's survival.
So Governor's Harbor has had over $7 to $8 million invested in a brand new airport on Governor's Harbor. You'll see the Minister of Tourism, Aviation Investment spoke about North Eleuthera, how we're supposed to start that in short order. All the renderings and plans are completed for that. So when you look at Eleuthera on a whole and the amount of investments, it's non-comparison to any administration in recent years of this island. And the investment, the economy, all of the unemployment, all of that speaks to the government's investment in this island.
Still on news from Eleuthera, after months in the making, a local airline launching a new flight service into Rock Sound. An official ribbon-cutting ceremony was held on Friday in Eleuthera. To celebrate this occasion, our Desmond Sanders was there.
Flamingo Airlines celebrating a significant milestone Friday with the launch of its new direct service between Nassau and Rock Sound Eleuthera. The new route will enhance accessibility and convenience for Bahamian residents and travelers seeking direct access to Eleuthera. Captain Raymond Meadows is the company's president.
We've been having a lot of talks from the locals in the community for a few years now. There's been, I guess, a shortage of airlift in the south of Eleuthera, and we have the Disney that came on stream. So we had a lot of people working at the Disney resort. So we just thought it's fitting now to come in and to provide a service for the community.
The inaugural flight left the Lyndon Pilling International Airport Friday with over 50 gleeful passengers, including Deputy to the Governor General, Ruby Ann Darling, invited to share in the historic occasion. The new service includes 2 flights that will operate Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, allowing for greater connectivity and visitor satisfaction. Minister of Works and Family Island Affairs, Honorable Clay Sweeting, says the new service bodes well for Eleuthera's local economy and family island development.
Today, it's an honor to be here because as you've seen over the past few years, Eleuthera has seen an uptick in passenger arrival. Second home ownership, the unavailability of apartments for rent, the unavailability of vehicles for rent, and further, the growth of the communities in South Eleuthera is evident, as there has been an increase in new business that has opened in the last 2 years. We've seen on any given day that airlift into Rock Sound sometimes may seem impossible. I have received questions and concerns from the general public expressing their annoyance in not being able to travel back and forth. So this additional service into Rock Sound is timely.
As Eleuthera experiences a renaissance of sorts, the new launch no doubt contributing to increased airlift and greater opportunities for residents. Desmond Saunders, The Bahamas Tonight.
Well, the Ministry of Labor hosting another Labor on the Blocks event that drew in more than 800 prospective job seekers. West colleagues Forbes tells us quite a few persons were hired on the spot.
The Ministry of Labor and Public Service Job Fair Series, also known as Labor on the Blocks, is added again. Applicants from various backgrounds and experience navigate through the different companies for their on-the-spot interviews. Many of them were aware of which company they prefer, while others were grateful for any opportunity.
More hospitality, F&B, I'm more experienced in that field.
Well, I do have a lot of experience in HR, human resources. I recently worked at Department of Physical Planning during the summer internship program.
I'm qualified for probably any position I could get in sales, in the sales department, because I've had experience with sales for at least for 3 years, and anything that's available with sales and serving food and anything I know I could handle because I've had experience for at least for 3 years.
I'd say I qualify basically for almost any one of the hotels here, but definitely I was more interested actually in moving to the to any of the Keys or Resort World Bimini because of my hospitality background.
The Minister of Labor and Public Service, Pia Glover-Roll, shared for individuals who may assume they aren't qualified should not deter from participating in the job fair.
These employers who are here today are looking for all levels of employees, whether that is at the entry level with minimal qualifications or at high-level positions where that will require more qualifications and credentials. There is something for everyone here today.
If you notice, we have over 30 companies here. They're looking anywhere from administration professionals right down to construction workers. We also have some careers here for those persons who would have just come out of high school, who are 17 years old, and so we have a job here for everybody.
As Christopher Farrington shared, there were many companies at the job fair, including Atlantis, Dunkin' Donuts, Island Site Development, and many more, all looking for individuals that were eager to work, has a pleasant attitude, and great work ethics. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm West Colleagues Forbes.
Still to come, the body of a man found here in the capital. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition. That and more in a moment.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
What are we gonna do? We forgot your daddy's birthday. He's in Eleuthera and we're all the way in Nassau. You got it? Okay. Yes, you're right.
Eleuthera for tomorrow? No problem.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be extra.
What, eh?
Hey, Quay.
Hey, what you saying?
Where you is?
I right here on the bus stop with my friend.
Okay, so we want to shoot this video, and it's gonna be extra.
All right, Jim. I can just come to you. All right. I need your 25 cents no more.
A decade ago, the Bahamas Striping Group of companies was birthed out of a passion to change the way we travel. From only a $5,000 grant, the tenacity and work ethic has propelled BSGC to one of the leading road management companies in the Caribbean. We pride ourselves on going the extra mile where others won't, through the use of our state-of-the-art equipment and our certified team. Although the success is commendable, the road has been long, yet The mission continues in striving to be a world-class organization ran by Bahamians for Bahamians. With the help of our experienced and hardworking team, we at the Bahamas Striping Group of Companies are committed to making a difference, one road at a time.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies.
Welcome back. The lifeless body of a 45-year-old male discovered by police at an abandoned structure on Collins Avenue, Centerville, Friday. Police say the body was discovered in a state of decomposition. No official identification was released pending notification of next of kin. An autopsy will also be performed to determine the exact cause of death. Investigations continue. 68.5 pounds of marijuana seized by Grand Bahama Police off Explorers Way Friday night during a mobile patrol operation. The drugs valued at over $60,000 was found in a bushy area near a service road. No arrests were made in connection with this incident. Investigations continue. He's been in the priesthood for about 45 years, but in ministry for a little longer. But the dean and rector of Christ Church Cathedral, the Very Reverend Harry Bean, says there's not much he would change. He chatted recently about his life in the Anglican faith.
It requires a lot of commitment, a lot of sacrifice, and certainly a lot of devotion.
Dean and Rector of Christ Church Cathedral, the Very Reverend Harry Bain, on what it takes to be a priest, a role he's filled for more than 4 decades.
As a part of the Anglican Church, of course, there was a priest there by the name of Father Glendon Brandt, who had a lot of influence in my life. I became an altar server, and we traveled from one church to the next with the priest, and of course it sort of rubbed off a little bit, and I was inspired and felt called by God to become a part of the ordained ministry of the church.
Bain says his journey in ministry has always been an exciting one, and he's never regretted one day.
From my first appointment in Andros, South Andros, and Mangrove Key to Eleuthera, Governor's Harbour, St. Patrick's, and then to Grand Bahama. And most of my ministry was in Grand Bahama, initially as a teacher at what was then called Freeport Anglican High School, and then as an assistant at Christ the King in Freeport, and then back to the school as principal. I spent 9 years, and then back to Christ the King as the rector.
As for his current position, he's served at Christ Church Cathedral from 2018. The Anglican priest says his love for God and his people has kept him this long.
You are to be an example to the flock. Which means that you yourself need to be in tune with yourself and in tune with God. And you need to have a strong faith so that you can exercise the ministry of encouragement to others in their faith journey.
After celebrating 45 years in the priesthood recently with his church family, he shared with us what's next.
In our diocese, you can retire at 65. You can go on at the pleasure of the bishop to 70, then you must retire. And that's where I'm headed. Headed to 70 next year in the will of the Lord, and I will be retired from full-time ministry. Although, at the bishop's pleasure, he can ask you to take a parish, more than likely in one of the family islands.
In other news, it started as a thought many years ago, having voted in Jamaica for its independence in 1962 as a British subject. That thought to write the national anthem for the Bahamas once it gained its independence. Reverend Philip Ramming says the events that led to it went this way as he was off at university.
And suddenly the thought came for the national anthem. And I went on that. God bless us, sunny climb. Spur us to heights sublime to see men free, let brothers, sisters stand. Firm, trusting hand in hand throughout Bahama land, one brotherhood. And I had 3 verses of that. And after I was finished that, the thought came, Martin Luther King reminded us, the church should not be a follower. The church should be the tail light in this community. And I thought that the pledge and the national anthem would be the tail light for any country.
The 91-year-old Fox Hillian said he continued his efforts, and when his chance came, he penned what would become the national pledge.
I was determined to put Foxhill on the map, and I wrote with energy and hope the national pledge of the country, and that's how the pledge came about. I wrote the pledge, but no one sent me a letter to say it was accepted. And at that time, when they accepted the pledge, I was president of the Bahamas Christian Council, and not a word was said about it.
Stay with us. A check on sports straight ahead.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station, open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
Hi, my name is Sanchez Clinton, paint and flooring specialist here at CBS Bahamas. And today I just want to welcome you into our brand new paint center where you could get top quality products at exceptional prices, such as Valspar, Minwax, Krylon, and so much more. At CBS Bahamas, you could get your color match, tinting, shaking here for free. You could even get a digital rendering or even a color swatch, and we'll be able to mix it with our advanced color matching system. So come on down to CBS Bahamas where we can help you build beautiful.
Hardware is the helpful place. Everything you need under one roof, from electrical, paint, plumbing, outdoor, barbecue, automotive, lawn and garden, pet supply, houseware, and seasons. Hurricane season is now here, so for all your hurricane needs, we have a 25% off bargain zone.
Hey, thanks. I would have given more stuff, but I didn't bring my money. I thought this was a club, and I thought everything was free. Finally know what it is now. Ace.
We're located on St. Albans Drive, West Bay Street, open Monday to Saturdays from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and closed for lunch 2 p.m. to 3 p.m.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome to your Saturday Sports, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports. He made history this past week, becoming the first Bahamian decathlete to qualify for the Olympics. Now, before he leaves for Paris, he's doing his part to give back. Ken Mullings hosting a free jumps clinic this morning at the Old Thomas Robinson Stadium for interested young athletes and imparting them with some much-needed gems.
Yes, the idea came about from me trying to give back to the community and explain or show the young athletes what I've done to get better.
Tell me a bit about, what have you been teaching the kids?
I've basically been teaching them the reasons why we warm up, the importance of warming up, the drills what I do, and to get my body in positions to do the jumps. And basically, I'm just explaining to them what my thought process is going into the jump so they can have a better understanding of the purpose behind everything I do.
The clinic also made possible through the help of Powerade, who formed a partnership with Mullings, and the representative spoke about the importance of pouring back into the community.
Today's clinic is powered by Powerade, and it's a continuation of our partnership and endorsement with Ken Mullings and Powerade. We're thrilled to be here today. It is important for us to ensure that children get exposure to Olympians like Ken, and I'm happy to say Olympian, knowing that he is the first Bahamian decathlon athlete to make it to the Olympics. So we're just thrilled for this momentous occasion and really happy for him to be able to show his craft and his technique to the next generation of athletes.
Out east over the Four Wall Squash Club. Squash, of course, front and center as their intro to squash program has been flourishing over the past several weeks, where dozens of interested persons have learned the basics of the sport. Director Mike Fields tells us more.
One of our visions is to introduce squash to the Bahamas, and we wanted to remove all barriers of entry. Back in the 70s, it was pretty much a British niche where people came and played squash and everybody knew how to play the game. When we took over the club, we wanted to make it affordable and accessible for everybody. And so we've introduced our squash program, our Learn to Play program. For literally $20, you get group coaching, which with our top coaches. You get racket, ball, court time, everything for $20. I don't think there's any club or any sport you can get into cheaper.
We also caught up with one of the coaches and a beginner of the sport on how things have been going.
Well, the classes have been excellent. I'm happy to see a lot of new persons wanting to join squash. Take it as a way of experiencing fitness and cardio workouts with your friends and family, and definitely is a fun way to do it, and definitely not in the sun. We have the chance to be in these rooms with air condition, even though the air condition still doesn't stop the sweat.
This works out every muscle, especially in your legs, front, back, hips, glutes, everything. So if you want a really total body workout, this is a good sport to pick up.
In baseball news, Bayman infielder Sebastian Walcott became the Texas Rangers consensus #1 prospect after outfielders Evan Carter and Wyatt Langford reached the major leagues. Now he's set to showcase his skills to the world. Walcott currently competing in the MLB's Futures game. The 18-year-old from the Bahamas is the number 73 prospect according to MLB Pipeline. The 6'4" infielder slashed .235, .336, and .395 with 6 home runs at High Hickory this season as one of the youngest players in the South Atlantic League. He was also selected to participate in the inaugural MLB Futures Skills Showcase alongside several other top prospects. That's my look at your sports on this Saturday. A check on weather when we return.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Tune into the program, Living by Faith, with Bishop Valentino Williams of Life Changes Ministries International. Sundays at 5:30 p.m. on ZNS TV station. Prepare to be inspired, impacted, empowered, and transformed. Remember, the just shall live by faith.
This prophet here is not for sale. This prophet here come to declare what thus saith the Lord.
From June 1st to November 30th, the ZNS Radio and Television Network is the #1 source in the Bahamas for hurricane information before, during, and after a storm. Now is the time to choose your radio and television hurricane season ad packages. Get extra special rates and run the ads only when you want them to run. Call the ZNS sales office today at 502-3800.
For a check on tonight's weather forecast, Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean joins us in studio with the latest temperatures. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Jiminita. After some overnight showers and thunderstorms, we are currently under partly cloudy skies with a temperature of 90 degrees, a relative humidity at 69%, east-southeast winds at 11 miles per hour, the barometric pressure of 1,021.4 millibars, that is 30.16 inches, and your temperatures around the islands, Marshall, Abaco at 88 degrees, 85 in Green Springfield, Key, and in Freeport, Grand Bahama. The Berry Islands, 86. Allenstown, Bimini, 84 degrees. Over in Harper Island, 87. Roxanne, Eleuthera, 89. 90 degrees in Fresh Creek, Central Andros. Also Kemp Space on Andros at 90 degrees. Black Point, Exuma, 87. 86 in Otterstown, Cat Island, San Salvador as well. Rum Key, 87 degrees. Georgetown, Exuma, 87s, and more 87s in Ragged Island, Clarence Sound, Long Island, and Crooked Island. Betsy Bay, Maguana, 88. Acklands, 87. Magic Town, Inagua, 85. And the Turks and Caicos Islands at 87 degrees. Your boating forecast tonight through Sunday in the northwestern islands. Those winds are going to be southeast at 10 to 15 knots. The wave heights 2 to 4 feet. Low tide takes place at 8:19 tonight with another low tide at 8:30 tomorrow morning. For the central Bahamas through Sunday, southeast winds slightly stronger at 12 to 18 knots. Wave heights 3 to 6 feet. So caution flags and place for boaters in the central Bahamas. For the southeast Bahamas, easterly winds at 15 to 20 knots. Very choppy seas down there at 4 to 7 feet. Caution flags also in place for the southeast Bahamas. In the tropics, we have this dry Sahara air stretching across the Atlantic into the Caribbean Sea and also into the Gulf of Mexico, and that will keep a lid on tropical cyclone development over the next several days. Satellite pictures showing that little troughing across the northwest Bahamas continuing to support pockets of showers. Now that will be pushing off towards the west, so we'll get some slight clearing, but then there's another system, this tropical wave to the north of Puerto Rico, also moving towards the west. That will be closing in on the Turks and Caicos Islands and the southeast Bahamas tonight with showers and thunderstorms, eventually spreading into the central Bahamas and then in the northwest Bahamas over the next couple of days. Our forecast for tonight, partly cloudy, breezy, humid with a couple of thunderstorms earlier tonight with a low temperature of 81 degrees. And then your forecasts are for tomorrow shaping up like this. There's going to be some clouds, particularly in the morning with some breaks, and then turning windy with thunderstorms developing in some spots around the island tomorrow. 89 degrees will be a high temperature tomorrow, and the extended weather forecast will have those pop-up showers and thunderstorms right into Monday. Things get a little better as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday, but come Thursday, we'll have those gray skies once again with scattered showers and thunderstorms working its way back into the forecast. Jiminita.
Thanks, Basil. In a continuing effort to build stronger communities and highlight the talent of local entrepreneurs in the inner city, the Ministry of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting launching the first in a series of social community initiatives at the Flamingo Gardens Park Saturday afternoon. Minister of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting, the Honorable Miles Larota, speaks to the significance of his ministry's effort.
Well, this is the kicking off of our summer activities. Today is the meet and greet, and you can see apart from vendors, we have health and wellness here. So they're checking blood pressure, they're checking cholesterol, blood pressure, stuff like that. But for the summer, we have 2 other camps that'll be going on. Camp Inclusion, and that will try to foster inclusiveness, in particular members of the community with disabilities, and Camp Climate Action. You know, we live in the hurricane belt, and we want to sensitize. So this is a collaboration with NGOs and other entities to make our communities more aware of the effects of climate change.
Besides the food, fun, and entertainment for the entire family, nursing professionals from the Ministry of Wellness among persons on hand, providing health tips and information to residents. Registered nurse Marcia Smith.
We know that many persons within the Bahamas and in the Caribbean suffer from chronic non-communicable diseases. But we are also aware that there are many individuals walking around within our communities who don't know their numbers, their cholesterol, their blood pressure, their glucose numbers. And these numbers are important because it determines their risk for chronic diseases. So it's very important that we are in the community making ourselves available so persons can be screened and be aware of their risk for chronic diseases and be able to take measures to reduce those risks.
And that will end the Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition. We thank you for continuing to make ZNS your #1 news and information network, as only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. On behalf of the entire team, thanks for watching and good night.